All right, Motorheads. Today's task is to get the mud out. So I think I mentioned that this Dana 60 had lived its previous life in a mud truck. When I bought it, it had a Detroit locker, 513s, 35 spline shafts, inner and outer 35 spline. She was pretty well built. So I got it cheap, but definitely requires some extra cleaning. So I'll show you what we're up against here. All right, so I've already pressure washed this, about a year ago, but there's still this layer in here of greasy grit, old gear lube, and ground up sand. I want to get that out. I don't want that running through my new gears. So that's got to get cleaned up. Then over here in this handy 5-gallon pail, that's a Detroit locker sitting down in there. Still got the ring gear on it. I don't have the pinion anymore, but there's the pinion bearing and shim, so that helps. Anyways, we're going to blow that, take the bearings off that Detroit, get the ring gear off, blow it apart, and clean all the individual pieces and put it back together today as well. So those are the first two things, and then I imagine probably the next episode will be setting up the ring and pinion. So there we go. Let's get after it. All right, just thought I'd show you the new camera. I don't know, it connects over my phone. I think some of those old ones did too, but their apps were clunky. It's DJI Maps, DJI Osmo Action Apps, a little intrusive in that it wants location. Why does it need location for recording? I have no idea. But here we go. Bring the axle out, do a little skid loader montage. Hi, Farley. Okay, motorheads, let's get this Detroit locker cleaned up. So before we get into that, I want to talk about pullers. So I've got this fancy puller kit here, but I didn't always have this. These are great. If you can afford it, buy one. They're not prohibitively expensive. If you're going to do a lot of ringing pinions, you should do it. But I do want to say, for the budget guy, my first 100, 120 ringing pinion sets I did, this is how I pulled the bearings. It works fine. Obviously, I had a plug that goes into the axle hole in the differential and tighten this up. It worked fine. I never wrecked a bearing. You do have to use a little bit of care and caution with it, but just to make sure, you know, there's alternatives. I do see guys doing crazy things like using air chisels, cutting the bearing race with a grinder. That'd be like expert level hackery. If you got to do it that way, do what you got to do. I can't fault the guy for getting the job done. But anyways, here we go with this. So first thing we got to do is figure out which set of cups a Dana 60 likes. And it seems to me that the yellow, no, might be the black cups. I got this set from 4-Wheel Parts. I think it's a G2 gear set on the puller. No. Maybe it's the small side on the white ones. Okay, going with the black ones. So when you go to pull the bearing, you got to make sure that you got the race on there. And lower this guy down. Let's see, am I even going to be able to pull it? I might have that pusher in the wrong way. I think I'm gonna run the pusher this way. Alright, getting the puller figured out. So, obviously the bottom one just goes down basically flush. And then you got to get it, the upper one to just be snug so that it kind of locks the bearing in there. Should be a little bit of preload when you clap those together. Lock your bolt. Nothing too crazy, but give it a little pressure. Yeah, that was way too easy. So I gotta say, that is so much easier than trying to use this. It's well worth it if you're going to do a bunch for ring and pinion work. And I do a fair amount. I still set up posies for my buddies, install lockers for my Jeep buddies, and change gears on occasion. So there's that. So, really important. Now, I don't want to lose these shims. Okay, these are my starting point. Okay, back to what I was saying. Really important point. You don't want to lose these shims. I have these other shims. These are my inner pinion shims that set the pinion depth. I saved them. I don't even have the pinion. These gears are ground up crap garbage. So not going to try to sell these gears to anybody or anything stupid like that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to zip tie it together with one zip tie for the non-ring gear side. And I'll use 2 zip ties on the other side. Almost forgot the race. Alright, so there's my reference parts. Probably put the camera away for a minute and put this puller away. Alright, next step, let's bust that ring gear off of there. Boy, not much torque. Alright, well, usually they're a press fit, so it's a little scary. I don't know if you can see how pitted up, chewed up these teeth are. That's a pretty rough piece here. That's why I didn't even save the pinion. That ring gear is going to go right in the scrap pile. Okay, now it's time to get the Detroit apart. So I'm going to set up a little deal. There's some springs in here. They're pretty heavy. So I'm going to set up a deal with some all thread and some washers to kind of hold it together while I take out these bolts, and then I'll back it out in a controllable manner. So I'll bring you back when I get to that. Okay, plan is take out all but 2 of these bolts, and then we'll thread the all thread in. It'll have to kind of lay on its side because I'm not going to cut the all thread down because I'm lazy. And then we'll blow out the last 2 and back it off. Alright, these bolts are pretty greasy, but You can see these were patch bolts at one time with the blue on there. Non-lock patch, so to keep that in mind for reassembly. I think I'd Loctite this anyways, just because I like Loctite. But here we go with the end game. All right, finger tight, good enough. Boy, I can see the mud already. Before I get too far, I'm going to mark these halves so I put it back together exactly the same way. It's like I set up my threaded rod right. Life's good. Farley's here helping. Come here, Farley. Come say hi. Farley says this is boring. Boy, look at that mud. How about this? So I'm going to say that it was well worth pulling this thing apart. That would have just wrecked my new gears. We got tons of mud and crud and crap. So I don't know. I was going to just brake clean it, but I actually think I should start with the pressure washer. So, hi, Farley. All right, here's the basic plan for the pressure washing. I just brought out the spare vise, just the whole parts, a little bit of old plywood to keep things from sitting on the dirt, and I'm going to do it. No drama. All the other parts I'm just going to clean with brake cleaner and a toothbrush. So there you go. My Farley's already bored of this. All right, Motorheads, so I went ahead and cleaned this out, and I got nothing but bad news. I started to find little chunks of metal through things as I was cleaning out the Detroit, and you can see that all of the clutch teeth here are wiped off. That sucks. This clutch ring is in 3 pieces. This one's intact, but the teeth are all wiped off this side. They're good on this side. Even one of the big dog teeth is broke. I don't know what this should look like. There's some pretty good bevels and wear on the edges. Maybe it should be there. Maybe it shouldn't. I would probably replace that just for peace of mind. So I need this Detroit to work right in my Jeep. Beer break. So I need this thing to work right in my Jeep. I need it to lock and to unlock when it's supposed to. So I'm in the woods on tight trails. I'm rock crawling it. I'm doing hill climbs and stuff. I want it to behave predictably. I'm not going to get that out of these parts. I could buy replacement parts, but by the time I bought all the replacement parts, I'm at least halfway to a new Detroit locker. So I've already ordered a new locker. It's a little setback from the project. There's some shipping time. I'm sure it'll take a week to get here or more. So don't expect a new video in 3 days like I've been doing on this project. It'll be at least a week. But thanks for watching. My next step is going to be to set up the gears. I want to do the gears before I put on the knuckles because there's a lot of flipping the housing in and out, upside down and right side up to drive in the pinion races. And I don't need those big heavy knuckles flopping around, and I don't need the extra weight. So gear setup is the next step. So stay tuned. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're into this kind of thing. Please subscribe so you can get notified when I get my next video out. And we'll see you when I'm ready to set up gears. Thanks, folks.